Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Fox Ridge Philately. It is Monday, September the 30th, and it's a beautiful sunny day here on the east coast of Canada in the Annapolis Valley, Nova Scotia. And I think I might do a little bit of yard work here this afternoon, perhaps just one more mow of the lawn, which has been some time but hasn't really needed it. And I think this one last mow should hopefully do it until the springtime. But before I get to that, I was, of course, picking away at some stamps and going to try to pull myself away to do a bit of that outside work first before I come back to this perhaps a little later on. But I thought I'd show you a few selections in here and how I've been putting together the British Commonwealth as I've been working through them from my collection, and the British Guiana stamps especially. And then I've got one in there to just see if anybody could answer the question for me. It's an imperforate, and I can't find it in the Scott catalog. And I'm not always really good at following Scott catalog and understanding all the specifics here and there. So perhaps one of you could help me out a little bit with that when we get to it. But to give you a sense of what I've been doing, this is just a regular binder pick up from the stationery store. And this is Barbuda. This is the second binder that I've started with British Commonwealth, and I just usually do a quick Wikipedia search on the country that I'm working on, and I'll copy and paste some information about that country as an intro, and then I have the stamps laid out here for Barbuda and Vario pages, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 sleeves. Usually I use 5 sleeves just based on the height of the stamp. Sometimes I can get away with 6 sleeves if it's some of the older ones, but I tend to use 5 sleeves. And for each one, for each set that's issued, I should say, I write down the Scott catalog number, the date it was issued, and the Scott catalog value. My Scott catalogs are 2021, so they're pretty recent. So that's Barbuda. So it's just gonna kind of quickly flip through some of these and get to British Guiana. More Barbuda and Antigua. Really nice sailing ship issued there, which I quite like, 1973-74. Basuto Land. These are, this was a crown colony of Great Britain. And the stamps of Basuto Land. Again, all laid out in various sheets, Scott catalog numbers, date of issue, and then the catalog value as well. And Bechuanaland Protectorate in Southern Africa. So yeah, I'm not real choosy on what I pick when I'm copying the information from Wikipedia. Usually I want a little blurb about the country and then some basic history. And I try to keep it just to 2 pages. I don't want to spend too much space in the binder on the actual text. Of course, it's more about the stamps than anything else. But they have some really lovely ones here. A nice overprint set here that I quite like from Bechuanaland, 1891 to 1894. And skipping on through, Bermuda. And there's quite a few here from Bermuda. Another nice sailing ship set. Just give me a moment. Biafra, which was relatively short-lived in the late 60s on Western Africa, west coast of Africa. And Botswana. Botswana has some nice stamps too. And flipping on through, I should be getting to British Guiana soon. British Antarctic Territory. Really nice Arctic Explorer set here. 1973, catalog value of $47.95. And then the British Guiana. So just a quick blurb there again. Of course, British Guiana became the country of Guyana. It was independent as of 1966 from Great Britain or the UK. So I'll see if I can hold this up so you can get a better sense here. I'm trying to be careful the Vario sheets. And this is from, most of this is from that collection, that large collection I purchased last winter. Shockingly, the 1 cent magenta was not in there. Wouldn't that have been a pleasant surprise, eh? But it's this first one here, and I'll pull it out carefully and see if you can see this. Not sure how well it's going to come out here. But it's a 1 cent, no perforations. It's the sailing ship, British Guiana on both sides, postage at the top. Not quite enough of a date to make out what year that is. So if you're more of an expert than I am, which wouldn't really take much, I would appreciate any information you could perhaps glean about that, and just post it in the comments or message me privately if you like. Some nice early stuff here from British Guiana. I don't have any of the super valuable ones, of course, because early ones of British Guiana can be, or they are, in the thousands and tens of thousands and even millions of dollars. And you get into the super rare ones. Quite a nice one, 1899 to 03. That is a catalog value of $55, that one stamp there. So try and be a little careful with that. And if we flip over, really nicely engraved stamps, and they come into the Kings here before you get into the Queen Elizabeth set. And the Queen Elizabeth set, 1954, the first commemorative set here of the Queen. There's one issue previous to that with Queen Elizabeth on it. But again, you can see the catalog value. They're all mint. Can hold this up. There's a nice $5, $2, $1, 72 cents, and so on down. Really nice engraving, really nice colors too. Various themes that represent the country. And then a similar set to that, released in 1963 to 65, along the bottom. And just a few on the back side here that have a British Guiana. There aren't a lot of stamps of British Guiana because it ceased being British Guiana, and I think it was 66 was the last date that they issued stamps of their own, and it wasn't super prolific in issuing its own stamps. So you could conceivably, theoretically, collect all the British Guiana stamps, but you better have a pretty deep pocketbook if you're going to be purchasing some of that older stuff. Yeah, and good luck finding them too, right? Many of you are well aware of that. The postage due stamps down here are really quite nice. Just basic colors, J1 to J4, the catalog. 38.25 is catalog value. Most of that is right here, I think, in that 4 cent used stamp. Give me a sec, I can just check that catalog value on that. Yeah, that's one moment here. Well, I might have to update the value on that, because according to the Scott catalog, that J4, no, sorry, the 12 cent one is $17.50. There we go. And the used 4 cent one is $14. So it's $17.50 and $14, so there's $31.50 in those two stamps. But again, not why I collect them. I enjoy it, and I enjoy making some organization out of some of the chaos, as well as, of course, the learning that comes along with it. It's great fun. And just one war tax stamp there, issued in 1918? Yeah, 1918 for that one. So, very quickly, a shorter episode for you. And if you are able to help me out with that 1 cent early British Guiana stamp and tell me perhaps a date or Scott catalog number, I would love to know that. I skip ahead to Fiji here, but I have to work on British Honduras first. I hope you're all having a good day and happy collecting and working on your own stamp collection. Take good care.